Hey, it's just so Trish, and I'm going to show you how we set up to move them out of the incubator and what we do to keep it pretty simple and easy. So let's get it started. Okay, so here's my basic setup. I am using a large, I can't even tell you the size of this container because that would have made sense to tell you. It's not the biggest container they make, but it's close to it. So it's probably 30 inches. Yeah, 30 inches by about 18 inches deep, wide. And then I'm using a typical shop light. Now I've used this setup several times, and this shop light has 120 watt. So typically you'd set it up like this, but it won't get it warm enough in here, so you got to kind of tilt it down for your makeshift. I am using paper towels. And I'm using paper towels because it makes it very easy to turn this into quick fertilizer. And I'll apply the paper towels right to my garden. So, I will do paper towels for like the first week. And then I'll go to pine shavings and newspaper. I keep my chickens inside until it smells like chicken in the house. And then I move them outside. So, it's typically about 2 weeks. So, I am using... So, once I have this... I turn my light on, get it warming up. Oh no, I gotta get a new light bulb. Aha. Hold on.
Doubles now, Catherine.
Okay, so now the light's working. And what I've got is, I've got a little jar with just some chick start, some chick grower. And I'm gonna actually move this and keep it not underneath the light because they're gonna tend to stay there. So I'm gonna put it kind of close enough. And then I have, let's see if you can see that. And I have this one, just a little bit of water. Okay, so there's my water. And I have water ready here in a gallon jug, and I've got just some probiotics. So now I'm gonna go get my chicks since there's only 6 of them. So here's our 6 little hatched babies. I will tell you what our stats were on our incubating. We did much better last time, and I had pulled the eggs out a week too soon. This time I kind of pulled out the eggs a couple days too late, like the day of hatching. So I wonder if that has anything to do with it. So the kids will actually go and crack eggs, and we'll give you that number. So then all I'm going to do, and of course I'm going to wash my hands after I do this, because that's disgusting. So, oops, I put that one in the water. So one of the things I do need to go find is I keep a little thermometer and I attach it just to the wall right here. And I put one at this end and I put one at the other end, so I know what temperature we're keeping it at. But look, they already like naturally know to start pecking food. And because there's not so many of them, I'm actually going to keep kind of a wall here because they're going to stay really close in this area. But this is all we really do. And look, they're going to get their first bit of food, maybe. This is the difference between a domestic animal, typically. Chickens don't really need, like, that looks like an umbilical cord still attached that hen was going to grab. So they're looking, and they'll find it here shortly. But we have hatched out, this is our second round hatching out babies from our flock. The last round I did it completely as a whole mess up, and I'll give you a full video on that one. Look, there they are. They found it on their own. They're that inquisitive. So they're pretty vibrant little guys, pretty healthy. We did lose one just because of the setup. It actually found the moisture chamber in the incubator and drowned. So we did lose one little baby. But these guys are pretty vibrant. Anyway, so yeah, pretty happy. I didn't get nearly the amount, but that was probably more my fault. But I have some pretty darn good hens, and typically I've given eggs out from our flock to, we kind of have a, I don't know how you'd put it, we have like a homestead investment pair, maybe is how I'd put it. So we have another family that does a lot of the same things. They're also growing as a big family, and they raise a lot of chickens, and they do a lot of the same stuff we do. So what we tend to do is we merge our flocks a lot. So I will give them, we move our flocks back and forth together so that we're not bringing in new breeds or having to worry about any threat of getting sick, our birds getting sick. And if something does happen, and say my flock is wiped out, I know I'm going to have essentially my same flock again genetically, because they have all of my, we have the same, pretty much the same flock, because we constantly are merging our flocks together and separating our flocks and merging our flocks. And it had started with a dozen eggs that I had given them that was hopefully fertile, and they got a good portion of birds from that, and they had made the comment of just, they're very, very energetic. They're very steadfast, and, you know, look at them. These guys, some of these guys are just 24 hours old. They're just vibrant birds. So, always very happy. And I also, with this other crowd, and we'll talk about it again, is we do the same thing with our rabbits. We divide and merge our rabbit colonies a lot. So if one of us needs a break, we can wipe out our entire flock, our colony, and hand it to the other to get a break. And then when they're ready to go back in, we just bring back, we split the colony again. Not necessarily our breeders, but our babies. So there you have it. That's how we set up chicks, and then we'll just keep this water going and the food free flowing. And I'll just have to put my temperature gauges. But if you got any questions on this, go ahead and ask. And I'll do the best I know, or I'll tell you, I don't know. But this is how we've done it, kind of low key, easy going. Hope it helps. Bye.